The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce the Second Universal Council and Second Science Conferences, which will be held in Rome, March 27th through 31st, 2017. If you're interested in attending both or either conference, please go to www.keshefoundation.org and click on New Web Shop at the top of the homepage. You can attend the conferences as an audience member or participate as a science conference presenter. Presenters will be allocated 1 hour to present products and innovations in Keshe plasma technology in any of the following categories: space technology, health, materials, energy, agriculture, transportation, the environment, GANs and nanotech, and any other area that applies. Foundation distributors and manufacturers will be attending the conference, affording you the opportunity to build relationships to promote and market your products. The full package price for both conferences is €1,650 per person, which includes daily attendance to the conferences, 6-night stay in Rome, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations for this package is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. The full package price for 2 persons for both conferences is €3,300, which includes daily attendance for 2 persons, 6-night stay in Rome, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the conferences. Accommodations for this package include a twin room with a king-size bed. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. You can stay additional nights if you wish at a cost of €175 per night per person. A single ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Council Conference, which takes place on the 27th and 28th, is €750, which includes the price of admission plus 2-night stay in Rome in a 2 single-bed room, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 29th. A 2-person ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Council Conference is €1,500, which includes the price of admission plus 2-night stay in Rome in a hotel room with a king-size bed, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 26th of March, check-out on the 29th. A single ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Science Conference, which takes place on March 29th through March 31st, is €1,150, which includes the price of admission plus 4-night stay in Rome in a 2 single-bed room, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations is based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 28th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. A 2-person ticket for those who wish to only attend the Universal Science Conference is €2,300, which includes the price of admission plus 4-night stay in Rome in a hotel room with a king-size bed, as well as breakfast, tea, and lunch on the days of the event. Accommodations are based on double occupancy. Check-in on the 28th of March, check-out on the 1st of April. If you would like to attend and prefer to make your own arrangements for accommodations, the price of admission to either conference is €200 per day. We look forward to meeting you at the Second Universal Science and Council Conferences in Rome, March 27th through 31st, 2017. The Keshe Foundation is extending an invitation to medical doctors of any practice and specialty to apply to the Foundation's private weekly medical teaching workshop. This includes medical doctors, dentists, and veterinarians. Scientists of the Keshe Foundation developed different types of plasma therapies and cures that utilize advanced, non-invasive plasma technology. The weekly private medical teaching workshop educates doctors to the plasma science behind the therapies, along with the functionality and operation of revolutionary plasma medical devices. The goal of the private teachings is to add plasma health knowledge to the profound knowledge of medical doctors. The weekly class is broadcast live over the internet through a secure private channel every Wednesday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central European Time. Presently, the class is only offered in English. However, you are free to bring a translator to the class. If you can't participate in the live broadcast, you can watch them later at your convenience through a private internet portal. Every patient's case that is discussed in the workshop will be kept anonymous and private. This includes cataloged findings and data gained from the analysis of the patient's health issues. Any medical doctor in the world who wants to participate can do so by sending an email to doctors@spaceshipinstitute.org. In your email, please state your willingness to participate in the medical teaching workshop. If you're planning on bringing a translator to the workshop, please state this in your email as well. After we receive your email, we will contact you with the instructions on how to apply to the workshop. As a part of the application process, applicants who apply, including any translators brought into the workshop, will be required to sign the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Treaty, which can be found at the following web address. All applicants will be required to provide proof of their education and ability to practice medicine, and will also be required to pass an extensive security background check before they are granted access to the teaching workshop. Healthful plasma technology is here, now, the use of which is increasing exponentially on a day-to-day basis on every continent. We encourage you to come and learn about this revolutionary technology. Apply today. The Keshe Foundation is extending an invitation to experienced farmers, agricultural specialists, and researchers to apply to the Foundation's private weekly agriculture teaching workshops. If you fall into one of these categories and are interested in plasma technology integration into agriculture, you're invited to apply. Scientists and agricultural practitioners of the Keshe Foundation continually develop and apply new methods of food and fiber production, soil fertility management, plant and livestock health management, and increased farm productivity using the most advanced plasma technology that is taught at the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. In the teaching workshop, you'll learn the science of plasma technology and its applications in the field of agriculture for enhanced and equitable global food production while minimizing costs and external inputs. Practicing farmers and Keshe Foundation scientists will demonstrate their application of plasma technology in agriculture and the ensuing results of such applications, thus deepening and enriching learning for all participants in the private teachings. Participants are encouraged to demonstrate their farming practices in the teaching workshop. The private teachings are broadcast in English live over the internet through a secure private channel every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central European Time. If necessary, you may bring a translator to the workshop. All applications are required to provide proof of their education and professional qualifications, must pass a security background check, and are required to sign the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Treaty, which can be found at the following web address. Translators that attend must also pass a security check and sign the World Peace Treaty. For details on how to join the private teachings in agriculture, send an email to agriculture@kfssi.org stating that you'd like to participate. Include in the email your education and agricultural experience and reasons for your interest in plasma technology. Applicants will be contacted with further instructions and details on the application process.
Welcome, everyone, to the 155th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And it's January 19th, 2017. And once again, we welcome Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation to give us some guidance today on what's happening in the world of plasma. And Mr. Keshe, I understand, has a special presentation for the first part of today's workshop, and he will explain what that's about shortly. Mr. Keshe, are you ready to go there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, wherever and wherever you listen to these workshops. We are at 155 Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and next week it'll be exactly 3 years which we've done this live with Rick, and a number of you who've been around teaching relentlessly, and we'll see where we go. Foundation is going through a massive turmoil of the growth and other things which are happening around us. We have gained credibility and work through our solid work as a team, the whole lot, every single one around the Keshe Foundation. In one point or another, they've been around, they've done something, maybe very little, but the fact of it has been big. Today, I just received before the beginning of the teaching from Jackie something very interesting. Jackie, are you there? You could explain to us what it is exactly. Can you see Jackie in the background?
Yes, I'm there. Hello, Mr.
Yes.
Keshe.
Good morning, Jackie.
Now we are giving the teaching in the public teaching in 18 different languages. Yes, I'm there. Hello. And for this teaching, we need to have this Knowledge Seekers workshop, first of all, translated, transcribing in English. And then we can make the translation and give this teaching everywhere on the planet. So we have built a strong team with really dedicated people who are willing to do that. And so the challenge for today is to get the transcription in English in less than 24 hours. Then you can go on the production of the translation. And during the weeks, give the teaching all over the planet. So I really want to thank everybody who will join. And this afternoon, we will have a Zoom meeting where everyone can join and follow the moving and the transcription and solving everything. And then we will try to do it that every week so the knowledge can be available for every man, woman, child, and every entities on this planet. So
Let me just say congratulations, Jackie, because this is something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time, as my heart is in the transcriptions as well. And it's been a while coming, and it's just great to hear that that's happening. And I'm sure you'll get it working really well as time goes on here. It's the only way to go. Yeah, beautiful.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jackie. So they should be able to have the transcription within 24 hours, and they can translate it to any languages immediately.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for the hard work. It's taken 3 years and dedication of a lot of people, and thank you very much for what you all do in the background. Foundation is a charity organization. We don't look to do, because we had a lot of people the minute they came to us as charity, and then they said we need to be paid. Not many charities are able to support this kind of finances. At the same time, we see the need to keep a core team to do things, and we thank the whole Keshe Foundation organization worldwide. The other point which is important for us is what we call the establishment and running of the Keshe Foundation organization around the world in a proper manner that we can protect ourselves. In the past week, we have seen a very small article appeared in Italian newspaper after we attacked, or we openly went for Mr. DL. Again, immediately translated by him into English. This rogue writer will stand his own position. Our people in Italy have spoken with the newspaper. The newspaper has set the full liability for such a what we call malicious attack without ground. Keshe Foundation Italy is a company limited, and we stand for full damages. Thank you very much for your article. We will let you know the outcome of this attack, which was that we gave patches to the people in need at the time of disaster. They call it as a scam, but the one thing they forgot, that the patches and the paint pads are the same thing, and we have a license on it. So they have in a way, created the finance for the foundation by writing such a rogue letter, and the editors of the newspaper have accepted liability for the journalist. It's for them to do whatever they do with the journalist, but it has opened up the operation of pedophiles in a deeper way across Europe. There is something, as you come here every week, you come to learn about the science, and every now and then we get involved without us wanting to. For us being such a well-known organization, we get targeted by groups for their benefit. A lot of you are new to the Keshe Foundation, but the Keshe Foundation was targeted more or less 15 years ago by the pedophile groups at the highest level in the best well-organized country for pedophilia, which is Belgium. We did not know that the Keshe Foundation, at that time, very few of us, were delivered in the hand of the most notorious pedophile. It took a lot of work for us to separate from this person. It took us a lot of damages to separate from this person. But in the process, we went back about 2-3 years ago, looking at everyone which this person brought into the foundation and see their connections. And we realized one by one, every person who's come in touch with the foundation through his time, they're all connected to pedophile group. At the beginning, they wrote articles. Why is he attacking pedophiles? We bring science to protect man, and when we have a knowledge to protect man, we have to share it. We saw when exactly 2 years ago, we opened the hand of Sterling. Everybody told us, why is he doing this? We saw the outcome. 12 months later, exactly a year ago, Sterling confessed to raping his own daughters. We saw then on the back of it, 70,000 pedophile group opened up with Interpol. The files were totally opened up. Are we there, Rick? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Keshe.
Yeah. Then we saw on the back of that 70,000 file, 4,000 pedophiles were arrested and everything else in past 6 months. We saw by that arrest the death of one of the senior judges which was protecting Sterling. We saw how once we start attacking Sterling, when we found out what he was up to, the guy who brought this guy into the foundation went to his support, another journalist. He called himself journalist of death of children, rape of children, called Sterling. We took a lot. Keshe Foundation members took a lot. But we did not stop. We carry on teaching. You saw me some few months ago. I went in one of my teaching praising DL, and a lot of people went, why is he doing this? We work closely, very closely with international security police forces. What we do is what the psychologists and the pattern officers of the psychology of pattern of the criminals advise us. We work on a work pattern, the way we did with Sterling. If you remember, on the 14th of last year, 14th of February, 15th of February, the senior judge in the United States was killed or whatever, which was connected to Sterling. But they could not get a Sterling because there was no confession without taking years. With the arrangement between Keshe Foundation, FBI and CIA, we went on a public conference, very rapidly organized, as we all know, with Kerry Cassidy. And in that short sentence, we explained we know the victims and are his children. 24 hours later, he walked into the police station, handed over him to the police, confessed to all the rapes he's done of the children, and the only thing could have been done was to have somebody physically, which it could be done immediately. And he offered his 2 daughters as victims. You have to understand that he, to be separated from family, he went through a public divorce and he put a picture of himself with a crack between the picture with himself and his wife. Then it showed that the wife was fully aware of what he's doing, and it was more or less a collaboration of silence. We had to look into this. We could see patterns. Security people see patterns. We looked into the pattern of a guy called Dutroux. Go on the Belgium news, you see who he is. He is a convicted serial pedophile killer of children, especially girls. This guy appears at about the same time as DL, when and around that time. There was, and there is a huge suspicion in the Belgian press that he's connected at a high level. That's why the truth was protected. In fact, DL is part of that protecting organization. A lot of you don't know the background about him. He worked as a highest level civil servant within the office of the Prime Minister of Belgium. And at the same time, he is, according to his own declaration, has connected with the wealthy families, as his father has built many buildings of Diamond Bourse of Antwerp. We could not understand, we could not find a track. 2 weeks ago, on a pre-planned organization with securities, we went on explaining in an open way, without targeting anyone, about pedophiles asking for a picture of the children. None of you went to write about it, because it's none of you. None of you are pedophiles. None of you target children and put things on the internet to collect children. The one who does felt scared. He had to respond. And we were counting on this. Security services were counting on his response. The response came in a strange way at what is known as empty cache, facts about Mehran Tawakoli cache. In that part, in his daily criticism of the Keshe Foundation, because he knows he started writing these when we were on track with what we saw last year. We started that we knew Sterling has raped his own children. Is the pattern of the people who support people like this. So they must be part of it, and they've done the same. I went directly for openly, without talking about anyone in person, explaining how they are putting advertising on the internet, looking for 6-year-old children, putting the pictures and taking pictures of them, and the children disappear in more or less hypnotism. None of you wrote anything about this because you're not criminals, but those who are affected, right, because they see they could have been found out, now we muddy up the water. We watch, we monitor, we were waiting for response. The response came and the confession came. Now we have a full proof that the L is in child trafficking. With his own admission in facts about Keshe Foundation and facts about Mehran Tawakoli Keshe. Please, some of you have been on it. If you haven't been on it, go on it. This is what the security services were waiting for. I'll read it to you. It's very, very simple. He wrote, because he knew it's him, he had to defend himself something. None of you went to defend yourself. He wrote in his blog against Mehran Tawakoli Keshe the following: that my blah blah puzzle were given in 1991 for production, commercial license to a new company. Don't forget, Dutroux was captured around 1991, 92, 96 for raping children. At the time, I was CEO and a major shareholder of the company. In 2002, I left the company. Do not forget that 2000, 2002 was when one of the most senior scientists, developers of compression technology, was murdered. And then the technology appeared in the hand of DL. Now we understand. Thus, there was a switch of CEO. I no longer have shares in that company, and I'm no longer involved business-wise. Not even involved in any marketing. But this is what we were looking for. But only in the same aspects, but only in some aspects of research and development. Researching new product to capture children. So for the first time, he has confessed he's involved in operation of the company he says he had nothing to do. but the company has been sold inside. It's never sold. The biggest point for us was this paragraph. He writes in Keshe Foundation, Facts about Mehran Tawakkoli Keshe. Have you heard of the story called The Tale of Unexpected? This is the tale of unexpected. The man shot himself in his foot. In this paragraph he writes, in 2015-2016, the CEO and the marketing manager decided to organize a marketing photo shoot for new promotional materials and packaging. For these photos, some children playing with a blah blah were needed. My blah 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 marketing manager connected via Facebook with her friends, parents of young children. This is in bracket, parents of young children. Please be aware. And ask for help. The paragraph goes, free cinema tickets were promised to the parents when they let the puzzle company take pictures of their kids with my puzzle. And the kids' parents were of course always present, where I was not present at all. You don't need to defend yourself if you're not a criminal. This is a negative psychology which has declared himself to be a pedophile. Interesting enough, we would like you to go on a website, on the channel which is set up by backup of security services. It reads very easy. The facts about Turk. We advise you to go on it. What we advise you to do when you go on the facts, this has nothing to do with me. This site is set exactly the same as he has set his blog. In this link, you see something very, very strange. And this is that Mr. Pedophile, in his admission in the Keshe Foundation blog, he says, in 2015-2016, the CEO and the marketing manager decided to organize a marketing photo bout. We went with our people, we found the Facebook with friends. This is not a private, this is an advertising looking for children. And strange enough, it's 14th of June 2014. This is an annual event collecting children with this organization of the year. Then the security people start looking into the advertising. He says on the Facebook with some friends. This is a proper brochure put out on the internet looking for children. You can see it and you can read it. It's in Flemish. It is translated into English by people that you understand exactly what it says. The translation of this to be supposedly what you call Facebook friends between friends is very, very simple. If you don't have it, it's been placed on the site. It's a very, very simple translation. The CEO has asked for something very simple, and that is supposed to be, we are looking for your children, the picture of the children, and very, very specific. The full translation reads as follows. Wanted, cheerful children and adults for photo shoot for blah blah products, ages put in. Don't forget they have to put all ages that they can use as decoy. Date is given, place is given, and interesting reads the following. Location, the province of Antwerp, not on business location, precise location will be announced later. Now, the interesting thing is, it says they give a cinema ticket and one professional photo. But don't get fooled, go further down the line of the advertising. Telephone number is given and everything else. Now you can call the company and bombard them. Why and where are your children? We haven't published this. This is in the public domain, nothing to do with us. But what is interesting at the bottom, the last DVSC of research and development, is research how you can get children reads your name, your date of birth, 2 photos of yourself, whose first full body pictures. If you are advertising for anybody to have a happy time, why do you look for children's full body pictures? Pre-sold before arriving for a photo. Interesting is, what is puzzling the security people is when you look at the pictures has placed for this, they've asked for a full picture of children. But the unhappiness about it is children are flat on the belly, or they are showing the size of their foot. Is this how you take picture of the full body and the face? Why do you need to use these positions? So we see we are dealing with a professional pedophile using every means to get as much as he can. You don't put free ticket and you don't show the feet of the children lying down flat on their belly flat. This is the position which pedophiles rape children. They say, we see in other entries of DL, he talks about fetish. Go to a website which you cannot find, but is obscurely in archives of the World Internet System called Hollywood.org. A lot of cleaning up has been going on by DL, trying to wipe out any track, but you cannot wipe out what is on the archives. Interesting, in the archives, he talks about fetish. He talks about hypnotism. He's got a section. We see the pattern of the work. A criminal pedophile, serial pedophile. The question is, how come they use their children to protect and bring more for them? Don't forget, the title of the advertising says wanted. You've seen how they put on the list of criminals around the world on the internet, wanted. They are headhunting for children. They ask for 2 photos of yourself. First, full body. They want to see if they can sell the child. We're not making any accusation, is what they have put it and been working on. Please give the recording of this teaching to the police. The police needs to be educated in your area and ask them for the arrest of this man. He is one of the top godfathers of pedophile groups. Strange enough, if you look along, we have not seen anything. The website about facts about Dirk does not accuse anything, does not write anything wrong about DL. It writes his natural mental process. We see drawings which takes hours and hours to do. Only one shape is in the head of the man, genital of the man. You've seen rows of condoms. How many, why these condoms have been put there, and so immaculatively one by one has been used on one child and hung, bringing back memory of which child he has abused. Have you ever thought of that? I think it's about 60 of them. So we are looking for 60 children. You can put 1 or 2 condoms, not 50, 60 on a long roll. It means everything. You keep what is precious to you and has a good memory. Do you keep the cup from the girl you dumped, or you had a bad memory, betrayed you? You keep a jewelry, a ring from the mother who left you a good memory and you want to keep it. These people are sick. They keep the condoms which they use for raping children. Just look at the numbers and count the children. 1 condom per child. Now you see why he's been writing so heavily since June, July, since we opened with the help of the security directly to him. We ask you, please take this section and submit it to the police. Why are these people looking? Why Mr. So-Gooder is looking for a 6-year-old child, and he is the head of research and development, researching ways to develop ways to capture more children, and then his own writing, not ours. I left the company. I am only in some aspects of R&D, some aspects which connects to children. Now you see why we've been attacked. Now you understand how DL works. We told you we keep silent. There is enough evidence for the whole family to be called in and explain why 6-year-old children with a picture of them on a flat floor, the foot. Are you going to put a foot of a child on a something happily cubed? This shows a pattern. We saw the true went to prison with his wife. We saw Sterling connected to his wife and the children. Now you understand why such a vicious attack has been targeted on us. Because they knew we are into them. Sterling wrote heavily the last few days before his arrest. Now we give DL one option. Hand over yourself to the police. If you look on his writings, even the last one, he refers at the bottom, Interpol and the police is after him. I work daily on a basis, even in Africa, sit with senior security police officers and Interpol. They laugh. I show them, do you have a warrant for me? He says, this guy is a cuckoo. Keshe Foundation is an international organization. We work with different nationalities. We work through different nationalities, and we know people now we have come wise to, like DL, try to penetrate the foundation to benefit themselves or their activities. So we have set up a very secure system with number of security services, and internally we are one of the only what we call foundations who has an internal security force. When you send an application, we vet, we go through it. 90% we are okay, 10% try to cheat in and finding a way to do something. But our work, all our findings is shared with national securities on a daily basis. So it's very interesting. The man's fear was to be arrested by Interpol, and he writes it because he knows he's on the verge. What is interesting, we said that he is involved in hypnotism. He's been everywhere, deleting everything. The amount you see he writes about me, he's spending 10 times more going on everywhere on the internet, cleaning up. He has cleaned up a lot. But unfortunately, some archives cannot be cleaned. In Hollywood.org, we found he talks and teaches about hypnosis and the effect of it. And in that writing, if you understand, which is unraveled by the security services psychological team, he talks about how he hypnotizes children and the principle behind it. It is on the link. Go and read it. Interesting enough, we come to another point in this dilemma with this, what we call pedophile. We told you he is heavily involved in killing scientists and stealing technology, and how we fell out with him was that when he went to China, trying to patent something in China to steal the Maghreb system. And then by one of our sincere supporters, and now one of the senior management of the Keshe Foundation, Armin, he said in that meeting, what are you doing? We are not patenting anything. And the whole problem with us, with him started. But interesting enough, he's done this to everyone he's worked with. But on the same link, please look. It says a very nice thing. Read one of the writings in there, which is, have a look. This will enlighten you how this is a man with a lot of criminal records. He appears in pedophiles, he appears in killing of the scientists. But in one section of this interesting website, you see something very, very strange. It's a very small writing. It says, sportsman. This is on the internet. We are just copied, pasted down. I'll read it for you. We have copied it from this website, and I'm reading it because it's published by them and it's on the archives of the internet. He says the translation is in Flemish. It is done 11 years ago. This is the time when we got to know this gentleman, more or less. Now he changed from compression to a new technology, a new scientist, a new murder. I was supposed to be done the same. We got to know him in 2005. Today is 2011, 17, 11 years later, more or less. This is the guy which with him, they've done a lot of work in stealing compression technology and killing of a scientist, but they thought disappeared. He says this is one of his closest friends who wrote the compression, and now he became his biggest enemy. It says the name, Dirk. You introduce yourself as a minister or a good friend of a minister, Verhofstadt. Now you know the high connection. He used to be a high-ranking civil servant. Disappearing children was his job. Also, you introduce yourself. You have to understand, Verhofstadt was the Prime Minister of Belgium. Also, you introduce yourself as a press agent. You give also the impression that you are a doctor, or give and say that you are a doctor. You are also a scientist. You also know about the profession niche of electronics. You know everything concerning compression. You know also everything concerning cosmos. You know also how cosmos has arisen. You know also everything concerning magic. You know also everything concerning science. You know also everything. You know and think that you know everything. And if you do not get right, you go in attack also, with false declaration and lies. You are simply a narcissist. Greeting with a signature. But interesting enough is, when you click and read this, if you push it right enough, it says open the URL. You see how he's been involved in the compression immediately after killing of a scientist. $100 million the morning was supposed to be paid to the scientist. The scientist was found dead. Now it's him, how they fight over the crumbs. This is not us. This is exactly about him and another person who he opened the forum to attack, to destroy once his cover was opening up. You have to understand, there is a senior politicians in Belgium, a senior politician, that he went on attack trying to, and he found out about pedophile organization. DL broke into him. And then he started setting up a political party. He was asked to make sure that the party dies. And the name of the scientist, the name of the politician, And everybody else, even the gentleman you see here, all one by one, being discredited by one man. Nobody else right by the bottom or anything, except DL. He is a guy which is well protected by, as he says, Prime Minister. He used to be a civil servant, hypnotist. And then you understand, we don't make accusation. We did not do anything. We just waited till the gentleman hanged himself, and he did. He has confessed. Now we understand lying and cheating in 2015-16, when actually they're still doing it in 2014. They've been doing it since 2002. Every year, children wanting a free picture, they ask for a full body picture and they disappear. Please take the recording of this and give it to your police stations, give it to your security services, and ask where are the children and which condom has which name on it, which is hanging on his pictures, on his artwork. We would like to put a lot of parents' nightmare waiting for the door to be knocked and the child walking after 20, 30 years to put to bed. We are dealing with professional group. He immediately, knowing that is to be discovered, set up the Italian newspaper, which is virtually useless. The newspaper have already agreed that it is absolutely relevant. They have asked us to tell them the damages. By Italian law, you cannot write these kind of things. By Italian law, we are open to protect ourselves. So now you understand how he suddenly went and translating the whole article, because he initiated it, he wrote it. These are his agents. Sterling, Kumaran, now more and more. So what you see, we are dealing with a serial pedophile, which is hiding behind, as we saw with Sterling, with Dutroux, and the others like him, children. And he mentions who is the marketing manager. Interesting enough, very interesting enough, in what we know is going to be unraveled on this link, you will see him working connected directly with convicted pedophiles in Asia. These line of communication you see on the background of the writing of 11 years ago. It goes back in 2002, it goes back in 1980s and 90s. Now you understand why we stay quiet. We had to wait till he confesses, the way he did Sterling. I have nothing to do with it, I sold it, I'm not the chairman. It was, yes, it was handed over to my, we know who. And then he says, I'm not involved, but R&D. If you're not involved, after 20 years, you still are R&D. And then we see the rise of this new management. R&D came after my arrest and the payment of huge sum of money for him trying to get me killed. So we see the pattern. Don't forget, this is all started because we said he's pissing in the garden in front of a 2.5-year-old child. He's asking for 6-year-old children. My son was 2.5 years old. He likes girls of 6. Put them on the grass. And he says, the garden. So he was, why isn't he doing anything in the house? He was doing it in the garden in front of my child. He has a fetish to rape children in the garden. This is his own writing. He published a picture of our holiday home in Belgium. That's not our residence, was our holiday home. And says, I was in the garden. And then we see the picture of children in the garden. The foot. We want a full body picture, but we show you a foot for those who have footish fetish. And in Hollywood.com, he writes about fetish. Now you see the state of the mind of the man and who he is. Please cut this section out of the teaching. Give the evidence to the police. We can give you more, because collectively we have to stop this man. We didn't write anything. He's done it himself. Now, it was the biggest problem for securities, because he always denied to have anything to do with the company he set up for attracting children. Because the true gun, he was operating on a free hand. The problem is, the money changed. 1999, 2000. You sell one cube, you have to earn a few thousand. For thousands of cubes he has to sell. Now, as we read from the internet, lubrication was 100 million killing scientists. The compression, which is talked about here, yields billions. At the moment, it's a multi-billion. Compression, internet compression, is a huge business. And as we told you before, these companies are disappearing from here into Australia, Australia to Singapore, and the rest of it. Murdering scientists is his profession. I've been there 3 times near his house. Times been shot at, blown up, and everything else. This is irrelevant. We have to protect our children. Now we see the source. How these people collectively advertise to bring children, and they want a full-size picture, but we only show the foot, or we show them on the belly. And it's a Facebook friends, but this is a brochure. This is a full brochure, technically designed, precisely positioned to attract children. The lying, writing so fast, trying to defend. A simple check. On the Facebook, he was not supposed to know, is dated 14th June 2014. But he says in 2000, a new CEO, 2015-16 has decided. So we've all been at it for a long time. Now you understand. We are going to open up the facts about this man. I apologize from our followers, whoever came in touch with such an evil man. We knew there was something wrong, but we couldn't put our hands on it till we moved into Italy. Till we saw the only person who knew how was poisoned, him calling a doctor saying he's been poisoned by arsenic. How do you know if you didn't do it and you're initiated by another Belgium, John, in the Keshe Foundation? When the doctor came all the way from Western Europe to save my life, thank you for your work. Thank you for saving my life and my wife and my child. We have respect for you and what you've done for us. But on the other hand, how could somebody in Belgium know how I was poisoned? And the interesting is, while we were dying, he kept on calling, I have to come to Italy to see you. I have to be there. And Caroline said, he is murdering us. He doesn't put foot anywhere in Italy near us. How come? He knew what we are poisoned with, and antidote of it saved our life. With him telling a doctor, he's conscious because he still couldn't get the key to the flight system. He needed to show he still can do what he likes. But goes back to one thing. Bitter files. Now we have opened the book. Now you can see. Now it is, we want the full-size picture of your child, but we only show the top. And the picture is sold before it comes. Now you understand. Now you come here to teach about the science. You come here to learn how to make magrabs and patches and everything else. But you forget one thing. What's the use of living when we cannot protect our children? unless you're one of the pedophiles, unless you live with people like this. We did not choose this. He was planted inside the Keshe Foundation by most notorious pedophile group in Belgium, which at that time we didn't know. We went to a scientific firm. So please, we explain more and more about DL. He's his own writing. We don't make any accusation. We just show you and explain the facts. My biggest concern is that line of condoms he has put. How many children's name we should put on it? I hope we find these children. I hope we find the ones he has touched. That we can put the family and the mothers and the fathers at peace. Now you understand. You know, criminals always keep something of the crime to, for them, remember the successful crime. This man keeps condoms of the children he's abused. Otherwise, no one ever go through publishing such a thing as art. What is interesting, when you look at this picture, when you look at so-called art and its mentality and putting young children's face on, looking to be a family man is very simple. Some of you, you don't look, but as security officers, we have to look. If you look clearly and closely, you see something very strange with this man. All the condoms are used. I pray for the soul of the children who he has abused. Before their death, at least they might have found peace. Look at the picture above the line of condoms. You see nothing but penis. A man's psychological path is shape of penis. Sterling denied. This guy went to the extreme because it's a head top and he has a full protection of his masters. They sacrificed the top judge. Now he is disposable. Let him write. The more he writes about the fact about the Keshe Foundation, the more we break into his, what it is. I would like to ask you one thing, sir, in writing about me. Can you write at least one place where you buried one of the children? If I can put the mind of one mother at peace, knowing the child is dead, she's not waiting for the next knock 50 years, 20 years, 30 years for the child to appear. We thank you for that. One child, no more. Don't call us. Repeat your picture of the condom and just put the name of the child on it. Then we know. This is how you work. This is your mentality. And the link, as we said, look in, is not existing anymore. It's in the archive of it, Hollywood.com. And then you see he teaches hypnotism. That's how the children were killed. That's how even their own children can't remember, because when they're hypnotized, they can't remember a thing. But in the background, they're controlled. That they still organize picture photos, the children. Innocence of mind, innocence of thought never changes. I inform my team before we go open. You can take our websites down. You can go and attack our Zooms. You can write another, find another pedophile to write another article. The Keshe Foundation has grown beyond the imagination of anyone could think, because it's a correct science, is perfect science. Works for people if they understand the ways of it. You came to use my websites as a webmaster for attracting or taking data the way Sterling said. I have 40,000 visitors and 50% of them are pedophiles. So for a while now we understand why he pushed to be webmaster, because he could have access to a lot of things. And this is how he works. Go and look at the people he has attacked, viciously the same as us, across internet. Any of his victims have been attacked after he failed. One of the most famous politicians in Belgium. You see the other one here who shared the decompression with him. Then another guy, and then another guy. Then killing of the scientist. Murder of businessman where the money is involved. In one of and all his writing, he says, Keshe is hungry for the money and is doing this and that for the money. I live a life. I have no bank account except foundation account. I get a penny, goes through the accounts. We pay a penny, goes through the accounts. But interesting is, one of the richest men in Belgium with the Russian girl in bed was murdered and the house burned down. And all his talk at that time was about the money. There was a lot of cash in the house. How do you know if you're not involved? But the person who involved with it is another pedophile close friend of him. Very close friend of him, which we had the misfortune of not knowing but introduced to. Deported from Thailand for raping a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old child boy. And this man spent many hours and days with him in his house in Antwerp. And we'll show you the files of their communication. Security services have picked it up. And how the same man with him is involved in murdering of the scientists with 100 million contracts. The facts about Dirk opens up the facts about the Keshe. Keshe. We are a perfect scientific organization. We, not me, I gave you the foundation. You have built the house. The house of knowledge belongs to you. I'm here just to open new line of thoughts. In him attacking me is attacking you. In him attacking us means the criminals think they are winning. Please do what we did. If the police wants to know, and we check through our security, these are real police officers in criminal organizations, then we release nearly 1 terabytes, roughly 2 terabytes of information we gathered on DL operation. Murders, how he's connected through high society in killing children, pedophilia. And very interesting, very interesting for us is how he has managed to get away with it so long. I think we have to put the truth to be the God of DL. Is that bad? Is that bad? Please contact your police. As many as you can. Take the recording of this, the line which is called Truth About Dirk, and those of you who were around him and you worshipped him, now you understand you become part of a pedophile group without you knowing. Those of you who winded for you to do most of the dirty work, this is all the time that's what is done. Times are not coincidental. Look at the time in 2000, 2002, when he came into compression, because now murdering scientists was more lubricant and the children were on the sideline when a scientist was killed in Holland for 100 million. And then you see the fight between the friends on the sharing of the loot. A man who was a what you call a government senior, now became a toy maker, now has become a compression man, and now he's become a scientist in the space and space technology. A chameleon with no knowledge, a hypocrite, a thief, a murderer. DL, you opened the file. You brought your children in writing, not us. You showed how you do operate, not us. And our job was to open your hand, and you walked into it. Disgrace and shame on humanity comes through the man who abused children, and you've done it. You thought you're hiding. You opened the facts about the Keshe Foundation, facts about Nehru Tawakoli Keshe. We let you write because we knew one day through it you get so arrogant that you open the truth about yourself. And we have achieved it. We know you're going to write more. We watch every word. Not us, but the security forces are watching. You're opening a lot of things which to us was unbelievable. A man can get so low to harm children. In a way, as I was talking to the security forces in Italy, we said DL is like the hole in the wall in Rome. If you've been to Rome, in center of Rome, there is a hole in the wall, like a head up, it's a knock. And they say you put your hand in the hole, and if you're correct, you can take your hand out. And if you're not correct, the hand will not come out. But in this case, what we said with the security forces in Italy is that DL is sitting on the other side. He only holds the hand of the children which are 6 and 7 years old, and they cannot go out. And he looks so innocent with the rest. You have to understand, Italian police forces have got a full file on DL on his twice attempted murder of my life. That's how they know and how we are operating and looking at, and the way he's connected to the terrorism. We don't talk about that side. That's for national securities and the government, how they're watching the police of Belgium operating, collaborating, and everything else. Those of you who thought he was innocent and you supported him and you're in contact, touch with the police in Kortrijk, inform them. The Interpol is watching everything around the operation of the police in Belgium and the others, which is in the hierarchy, protecting people like DL. You thought you can ransack and rampage and do whatever you like. You thought you can bombard the offices and telephone calls to different governments. We sit with the government security forces because it's our job. Keshe Foundation technology, if it's not connected and corrected with the security forces in the wrong hand, can be abused. So we work closely, we monitor everything. Keshe Foundation, as I said, is one of the very few organizations who has its own internal security. We watch traffic, we watch people who come to harm us. We don't watch for anything else. So now, please go on facts about Turk and then connect all the dots and cross all the T's and end up with one man. A pedophile, high-level pedophile, has the audacity to put the condoms he has used. You have to understand why they use condoms, because genetic fingerprinting inside the child after rape can lead to them. Now you understand. Our scientific analysis by the security forces is very detailed. They learned this through one of their bosses with number of cases in raping children, that fingerprint of genetic sperm was left behind, but he's a high level, he managed to protect himself. These guys don't. Now you understand. Now you understand. Let him write more. By writing more, he opens more into what we need to know. Please write more. Please write more about and translate from the other papers and everywhere which you think are influential. Soon you'll be knocked on the door. We don't want to do that, then we have to fight. We work on the same basis as we did with FBI, with Sterling. We let you walk out and hand yourself over. But in a way, what you are doing and the people you're in contact and all the hidden communications you think you are doing, we are finding more and more. You have to understand, we share knowledge with securities, and what they find out, they share with us, that we can make sure things and people like you cannot work. We ask you before, please, the other head of a snake sits in what you call Sierra Leone with Qumran. He works closely with DL. They are in a sick children trafficking, and the company is on the internet. Why should a company employ, unless the company can confirm and show? How come they got rid of him? Immediately they found out, we opened their hands. Translating sick children document with the pictures that when they arrive, as they are sick, they are dead. Now you understand why I took so much. I've taken 11 days of imprisonment, being told to be executed every day. What I receive daily from the hands of a criminal who's trying to save his neck, writing on the page of the internet, is nothing. And don't forget, he got paid €1 million, plus he bought a house from it, because he was living in a house with full cardboard. For 6 years I was not allowed to go to his house. I had to wait downstairs. And only person who could go to his room was the pedophile guy who raped the 2 children in Thailand. They were always together. I had to wait downstairs. I could not, writing patterns. He could come to my house, but I could not go to his. We gathered why. There were children upstairs being raped. Why? That was a house of criminals. How come? A man who writes and so sincere, would not allow a man who he works with into his house, saying the house is full of cardboards and he cannot come in. For 6 years we could not go to his house, till he received the money from my own imprisonment, bought the new apartment to show me, you see, I got the wealth from yours. And that's the time, for the first time, we saw the children around him. Before that, was not be able to. Now you understand me no more. We know a lot more about this man now that we sit back and we analyze what is done. Forget about the talks. Get in touch with the police. Don't give up. Do not give up. Now we've given you the lead to work on. There are people who are supporting us. Security forces are putting websites, everything out around DL, is to find out how to get into the mind of this Jekyll and Hyde. One of the pictures on this new website shows his pleasure in showing anything to do with penetration. And he speaks about it heavily. The man is sick in the head. How many children you have killed? 1 child. We ask you only the name of 1 child. And as you see, he has favorite sizes and shapes. All used. All used. All memory of a children. A sick man. And don't forget, he sells his artwork for $390 to the other pedophiles. Look at the picture. This is his way of working. A beautiful, beautifully laid out card, internet card, invitation for pictures with one blonde child holding her head. So he's after blonde girls. But interesting is, we see blonde girls around him a lot in other pictures. Victims. And in another one, we see, he says very thing. It is his innovation again, love, and then he says fetish, peep, fixation. And this is another product. The same thing as the cube, but this time most probably children in it. The guy is sick. Let us bring this man to prison. Let us take him out, the same we did with Sterling. It's our job. Security services ask you, collaborate with us. Keshe Foundation asks us. Our people ask us, collaborate with us to bring this man and his team to justice. He's sitting in one house, but is well protected by his people. The option is two things for him, and he knows. Now we open the book. I think it's time to eat the carrot of the banana by the man whose mind is only works in one way. Look at the pictures. Please go on this link which is set up, called Facts About Dirk, and look at the foot of these children. You see, is the child still alive? Are those children on the floor still alive? Where are the thousands of children which go missing, trafficked from Africa, Ghana, and the other countries, Morocco, into Belgium? And they all end up in Antwerp. And DL lives in Antwerp. Why don't they live in Brussels, Bruges, Liège, Antwerp? Now you understand. I hope you understand. We need to let this man to write more and more, that with his own writing, he comes to justice. It's your job as Keshe Foundation members to contact the police in every shape or form and tell them why these people are looking for a picture of children, full picture. The ad says, first thing they need is a full body picture. And then they put a picture of a little blonde child. They say they started from 2015-16, but already 2014 been doing it, 2013. This was the best way to capture children. They found the niche, the research and development man, senior man, has found a way to capture children. And with his hypnotism, children never remember. We don't know how many dead. We know the statistic only from UK government, which trafficked through Belgium last year, is 4 children dead. This is the, do not forget, Keshe Foundation works closely with British securities. I have worked with British securities over 30 years. I have a very good reputation and name for what I do, because I've been correct. I don't interfere with politics, I don't interfere into drugs, alcohol, or anything else. But through my extensive knowledge of searching and understanding and being in an openness of the world, they understand when my advice is correct. This is a statistics from British government. 4 children trafficked by the direct lead of these people are dead in England alone in 2016. Forget about the others they put into prostitution and the bodies never found. Don't forget, the house where he lives is less than 100 meters from the dock. Strategically chosen that the bodies can be shipped out into the seas. Go and look at the position. We have given you the name of. Now the securities are looking at this, why this house was chosen. You are sitting on top of the Antwerp docks and the children are put and disappeared. The boss has a last taste before he changes the condom. The sickness of this man is beyond imagination. And he only comes, works, and looks for two things. Children, which are connected with him with pedophiles, and scientists like us and the other scientists who've been murdered, and other scientists who's gone in his black box in the company in Belgium, to use us to gather more money for his masters through using our technologies to get more access. The way Sterling told us, the visitors hungry for new science are young children, and they know it's targeted. Please, please, take this recording. We specifically made this recording today this way, that you can segment it, and with the facts about Dirk, to submit it to the police. Why are they looking for 6-year-old children? Why are they looking for blonde girls? Why are they looking for full body pictures? And they only show their toes. And then to cover up, they bring their own children. Sterling did. When they found the 2 girls dying of starvation in Dutroux house, most probably Mr. DL has already got a condom. One of them reminds me of that. So please write, Mr. DL, more about my facts, because you are leading us to where we want. Now you have confessed to a lot of things which you denied. You, on the top of the paragraph, you have nothing to do, but you say change management. It went, where it go? Who's the new owner? The picture says. And then how come if you sold 12 years ago, the new sales marketing manager, you say who it is, and then you confess to it. Now we were looking that you're involved in trafficking, in bringing new R&D, research and develop new ways to bring children in for your masters. There'll be more released. We have connected him to a group in US, the group which is connected to Sterling, and in the hidden conversations which nobody understands, the word cube is used. They speak about murder and how one of them was caught and the others. And this goes back about the same time, 2012, 2014, and the rest of it, and goes back to 2002. The word is the cube. And the murders appeared and people done in US and other part of the world. You have to understand, this is a new word for them. You heard about the pizza, but you understand now the cube. Cube is for cute children. This is the mentality. When you read all the reports I've read, I receive, you see now start seeing into the mind of the man. We don't accuse. This is what is written by him. Not us. We haven't added anything into it. We just put the mentality of the man and how he's hidden things and how he's involved. And when we told you he's involved in killing scientists, now you see it. Very simply. Once the collaborator now writes about him, how they cheated each other. And for people like us, opens our eyes that this organization is not only to children, but finances itself through other things. Read the Sportsman, press click on it. You see how a man who he worked to write pattern in the morning, when they finish at night writing the pattern, before the man who's supposed to be the owner, there is in the patent office in Belgium, submitting the patent when it was written somewhere else. but for somebody else. He writes a patent, I'm too tired to hand it over, I'll finish it tomorrow. He runs into Antwerp, he goes and submits as a patent for himself. The stealing, killing is part of his. We don't say it, read this. A lot of the information is going to be released about the pattern of his work. A lot of it, read it. A lot of it is in writing of his own. A lot is about his own way of working, not us. I thank our research teams. I thank national security, international security who are working with us. I thank especially CIA and Russian intelligence services. I thank Ghanaian security services who work with us. I thank Italian national security at the highest level. Without you, we could not have done. You got to understand one thing, that we share knowledge openly. Whatever we find about these people in a secure way is accessible on a daily basis by Interpol and national securities. We have given them the access code, we have given them everything on secure servers to access all the knowledge. And secondly, if it goes, they've been given in a hard copy. It's our pattern of work. We gave our patents in a USB stick to governments. We give all this information on a regular basis on the USB stick to national securities. This is the way foundation, this is how we should be. This is how an organization looks after its children, looks after its science, looks after its technology, understands all the attacks. So now we know a little bit more about the writer of so much, because he knew we pushed the button in June last year and he went rampaging because he knew we found out. And now he brought it out, who is and how he works. And he uses his family to bring children, and is under, as he said, on the internet, Facebook friends, but it's a full brochure advertising capturing children. Claiming innocent when you're caught. So what I have to tell is one thing. We are unraveling one of the biggest pedophile networks, which is going over 30 years, headed by DL. Now we have unraveled the way they capture children. Now we unraveled how he has set up an organization with the benefit of claiming being an ex-civil servant, son of a multi-millionaire rich man. He fits into what the police and Interpol have been looking for: child trafficking. Governmental influence and elite rich. A boy from Africa who had nothing comes now to be a king of traffickers of children. Please, please, do not stop communication with your police. Do not stop. We're still working, we're still negotiating, we're still being told there will be a ban on Belgium adult men, even maybe their wives, in traveling, because this is the route. We stop terrorists who we said they bomb, now we stop children abusers with their families. Bin Laden didn't work on his own, so do these criminals. Now he has brought the woodwork out into open. We haven't. The new marketing manager. I'm hiding behind what I've abused. I have stood a lot. My family stood a lot. My family is not just Caroline and the boys. It's Rick, it's Vince, it's Stanley, it's Armin and others. We have become one nation, and we make sure as one nation we stop this work. We have spent a fortune trying to protect the foundation, and it damaged us in so many ways financially. but we are out of it, we get out of it. But at least now we are proud to say we got the second biggest pedophile ring on this planet, operating a long time. We got the head snake. It's for us to open it. We are monitoring everything. And those of you who thought you're there anti-Keshe Foundation and we're going to bring you down, you're this and that, now you know, unless you're a pedophile, how you've been used to damage us by a man who himself is a pedophile. In you damaging the Keshe Foundation, in supporting what is done by a pedophile, does it make you a pedophile? Or unknowingly you've been pulled into something which you were not aware? Like us, we were scientists, they use our technology and then they try to murder us as they've done, and the confessions on this reading of internet read so bad. I'll read you something. It says, "Dear DL, if you gave money to get an option concerning DGS technology," it says, "concerning all people mentioned in this letter, Hollywood.org, theater, 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 theater," and then it says, "if you gave money to get an option concerning the technology, please contact." So, you see, everything is possible with this man. Everything is done. He accuses people of the things he does that people cannot see what he's doing. And now we open it up. The whole structure is, we have to work this time together as Keshe Foundation, police forces. You have to bring the Interpol in from your country. You have neighboring countries, Holland, France, Germany, Luxembourg. Have to inform your police forces about this guy. He travels across borders. They bring children for him. He hypnotizes them. This is his job. He's called the hypnotizer. That's why we couldn't find him. He's a hypnotizer. Sick man. Shame on you for killing so many children. We don't talk about it. You have written it, not us. I hope the foot of those children we see in the images you have put as a new research and development and fetish are still walking. Because we'll never know their faces, doesn't matter who you bring out to say who they are. I hope the children we see on their back, we don't see their faces, are still walking. They still can say, "Mama, I love you." They still remember which village you stole them from Ghana into Belgium. Then we can take them back. Let me explain to you something, why I'm so passionate about child trafficking. I used to be part of the British intelligence services for trafficking. I lived in England for 25, 30 years. As a high-level businessman, we worked with the securities we had to. We became part of the structure of the British security intelligence for other things. And in that process, the British securities opened my eyes to child trafficking. And then through United Nations and our connections, we saw how much finances of the Keshe Foundation, which at that time was me alone, and then United Nations opened up their books to us, are going just to buy back children who've been kidnapped for child trafficking out of Africa and India. British securities opened my eyes to things I didn't want to see, but they said, Mehran, you work with us, you have to understand it. I had to understand a lot. I understood how much of the money given to United Nations is paid to the child traffickers to buy the children, that when they are bought back on annual basis, they don't even remember which village they come from. We can't place them back. We try to put them back into school, there is no name. The child has been taken out so young and kept to be trafficked at a certain time, not fed, just enough to walk to get reach to destination to be abused. So many children. I stood in the airport, I stood in Port of Dover with security people telling me, Mehran, that child in that arm is not a child. She's not the mother. Small DNA test, blood test showed. Coming from Antwerp. You heard of donkeys, drug trafficking donkeys, where people eat and drink drugs in whatever they do, and then they split it out when they arrive at destination. They are pedophile donkeys. The child is kept with a woman for days, that the child sees and is told, if you talk whatever they do to them, cross the borders, on the plane, on the ships, they deliver at the destination, they get paid the ticket to get to Europe, they get their child. It's the same from Romania, it's the same from Bulgaria, it's the same from Eastern Bloc, it's the same from China and Africa. Go on the childish trafficking of British intelligence report. Number of children, everything which arrived in UK. There is a hidden chart report which is kept on a daily basis by United Nations. Shows how many children are in traffic at any time. United Nations knows what they can't do, they have to buy ticket. It's a big operation, child trafficking, for the sick people like the young. And when they don't get, they have to advertise to get locally. The strange thing is, we have a very good friend in Belgium. He knows who he is. He took me to a nurse, and I've said this before, and she said to me, Behran, help us. These people, in the name of even religion, are raping children. And children are committing suicide when they remember what they've done. Pedophilia is a huge business. I had to stand with the United Nations officers, I had to stand with the custom officers. Unknowingly, I had to sit and eat with one of the biggest criminals in child trafficking, thinking he was brought to us, that he helps us, but he was helping himself through his pants, through the service of the Keshe Foundation and the others for the children. As much as I teach science, as much as I teach how to get man to space, I have to make sure that these people don't get into space. What would be our future in space if we have these people and they want to taste the new child of the man from another planet? Mayhem for us. Now, let us work and bring this man into justice. We don't say anything. He's his own writing, his own website, his own artwork, not us. We just unravel the puzzle. Now the pieces of puzzle are put cubically together to find out to cube the man who was the inventor of the puzzling cube. The puzzle is the child and the cube is the prison for him till they finish using the condoms. Facts about Dirk will get thickened because we have so much to show you how he's connected with many scientists, how he's connected with other things. This site doesn't belong to me. They send it to me, I'll read it to you the way you read facts about Keshe. I'll read you what is written, facts about Dirk. Now you understand how suddenly in past 12 months we have become a target when we picked up one of the most profitable lines for them, which was Sterling. We damaged the press very badly, so they had to take revenge. The boss was losing money, so he took control himself. And now those who go on his website has the same position as Sterling, knowing who they are, what they are, and they have chosen a pattern that when you come and talk on the Keshe Foundation, or you show something, or you want to do something with the foundation, they find your email, they attack you, they threaten your children. These people have no teeth. Don't get worried about them. Come back and show your inventions, show your research. You have enlightened a lot of people. These people have made a threat a lot. They're all in 2 countries, 3 countries. They sit in Austria, Luxembourg, Germany and Belgium. And they're all controlled. They're slaves of DL. But he touches them in different way. And we have seen what has happened. Please cut this section and give it to the police, your local police. Start with your local police. Go and say this is on the internet. This guy, what he's doing, advertising for children, pictures of the children, and then give this teaching. Translate this. Now this section is transcribed. Say to your police, listen to this. Where are our children? Why is this man can advertise for children? You don't ask for a child, for goodness sake, and just show his feet and then write in another passage the fetish and then put line of condoms. Sick man. We don't preach. We inspire for you to stop the rest. This thing will not stop. Somebody else will take his place. But he's such a key man that we can delay it. Look at it, one thing. I was explaining this to security people very recently. We got Sterling. Through the other connections with the Interpol, we got 70,000 which are on the list. 4,000 have been arrested. If these 4,000 would have raped or whatever, or abused one child a year, that's 4,000 children. If they would have done once every 10 years, that's 400 children a year. That's one child a day. Damaged beyond. And this is in one organization centered in Belgium. Read all the national security reports about child trafficking. Antwerp is mentioned on it. Antwerp is the center of child trafficking headed by DL. He's part of the management. He's the oldest hand. He has happily cube business. The cube is the coffin of the child. That's what it means. You will see in the site in the coming times when we show you how the cube works and how they confess murdering, as I said before. Thank you very much for your time. As much as I teach you science, this is the second time I've put everything online. We got the Sterling, now we got to get Dirk. He's confessed to it. When you lie, means you're caught, and he had to lie and one after another in 3 paragraphs. We couldn't get him writing, now he's written. Don't forget he confessed he pissed in the garden, and it's the children pictures in the garden. Now you understand. Okay, let us go to our teaching. The teaching is very important for us. Today we have time, a little bit more time left, not much, about teaching in respect to the space technology. I would like, Rick, if you have something to show, to share with us, because teaching the knowledge of the universe after such a horrible discussion of killing of the children by man is not easy. Can you please share something with us you have, then we come back when we start teaching.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. How about I could read maybe the testimonial from someone from the USA, Mickey Creech, about giving back. And maybe that would be a segue into a better environment. Would that be okay?
Please go ahead.
Okay, let me, I'll put the words up on the live stream as well here. So let me get that set up as a screen share.
While Rick is looking for this, please understand, we have faced and we are facing with a new dilemma with the number of governments. The new dilemma with the governments is the effectiveness of the GANs and other materials which we do. And what has puzzled them is that so many of you are testing it and using it without FDA or health authorities because it's your natural process. So what we have seen, especially in past couple of months, 2 or 3 months, is that authorities, in seeing people using it, are asking us, give us the testimonials. We can use those as a basis for licensing. Because people are doing it. It's in open. So what it is, we ask, we're trying to sort out, Rick was going up the wall with this, sorting out these testimonials to be in one section for every disease. And hopefully we can achieve it soon in completion. Is that your testimonials are important. I tell you how important a testimonial is. When this journal puts an article in Italy, and then somebody contacted the newspaper and said, what is this you've written, and what are the uses of this, and it works, this is rubbish you've written. That's how the whole opposition started with this article. Because don't talk what is done, write your testimonials. In number of countries, the governments see the rapid development of this technology so fast that people's testimonial has become live test. Please, please, write down your testimonials. Doesn't matter where, on the Keshe Foundation forum, on the testimonials, go to, we have connected websites which we support, or we allow them to work with us. What do you call it? The plasma groups. Put your testimonial in, because you understand your testimonial now is getting considered by governments as what you call animal test and then human test. As the human test is important because we have data. Your data, try to be more precise. When you put your testimonials, try to be very precise. I took so much of it so many times, when and how. Try to be, it's very nice to see, thank you, it worked. I thank you for writing it. But from now on, please just make a few more lines. How you took it, how many milligram, where you put it, how many hours, what was and how it was, how you felt, good, bad, how many times you felt good when you came back. This helps us for our certification across the world. FDAs and other authorities are getting pushed to a point that your testimonials is getting accepted as because it's a live test you've done. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Let me get the share up for that particular one, which was, I had it as a text here. Not sure if that's shared. Try Again, there we go. Okay, and let me zoom in with that a bit on the live stream so we can just read it. Okay, this is from Mickey Creech, one of the testimonials that was submitted recently. And it's about giving back. And Mickey says, giving back should be on the top of everyone's priority list if they are capable of doing so. I believe that giving back gives much peace and love to oneself and others if they have the right intentions. I have donated 5 patches and 5 pens to local people where I live. They have nothing but great things to say about their gift, and they love it. They have told me how it works for everything from headaches to daily aches, pains, and how it has been a lifesaver for them. I also have donated my time to make about $9,000 US worth of Keshe pain patches, pens, health cannons, and cups, etc., sent to the West Coast for the homeless. Knowing that the Keshe items were going to help the homeless for a myriad of different reasons, just filled my heart with joy, peace, and love. I am in the process of trying to build a business to make and sell Keshe items at a low enough price so I can give more back to the homeless and also donate more back to the foundation for all the great knowledge, teachings, and keeping with the ethos. This way, everyone can continue on this beautiful journey and discover more. The only reason I want to sell these items is to create a business in which I can make enough money to share with others this technology. Selling items at an extremely low price will allow me to donate more back. Also, because I live in the United States and most of us know how difficult our government can be. I believe that if I can sell these items to enough people here that cannot get them from the Keshe Foundation or make them for themselves, that we can spread the word even more here in the US on how this technology does work, and maybe our government will be more prone to get on board, sign the peace treaty, and share with the rest of the world what has been hidden from them and is rightfully theirs. Okay, that was Mickey Creech, USA.
Thank you very much. Mickey Creech, you have written the ethos of the Keshe Foundation. I see this, I read it, and as Dirk was reading it, it was like deja vu. Something like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours later. Carry on. You have our blessing. The foundation will find one way or another finances to run its affairs. But what you do is the way we want it to be. But there is one piece missing in your work. The people who you give these gifts to and they come back and they talk so good about it. Tell them, come and learn from me and you gift 5 more other people. That's all. Then the circle is complete. As I said, the biggest problem with the humanity is 7 billion humans. We are doing the same as what you are doing. We have finished, we are ready to put products in the market. We are waiting for certification to come in and complete. And as I was explaining with Benjamin, we were sitting with these guys, high powerful people in different aspects of the science and work of the nation, is that we brought the use of and sale price of these goods so low that it can be sold in mass numbers, that creates the finances that we can feed back to the scientists to research more, that they can deliver more to the nation. So what we have set up now, more or less, in a few countries we're seeing it running, is that Keshe Foundation works inside the government organizations, trying to get things done, that by setting up and being able to fast deliver these cheap items into the market, we create finance for the researchers and the scientists to work, to be able to deliver and create more new jobs. And one guy said to me, it works so perfect. I was explaining to the head of the Keshe Foundation a few days ago. I said, the Italian factory selling Rolls Royces was to show that the technology worked. The pen and the pads, 40, 60 euro, allow the foundation to operate, to run its affairs, to do more things in past couple of years. Now, we sell maybe 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 5,000 here, 10,000 there. The way now we're setting Keshe Foundation in Africa, hopefully Philippines will follow us, and the United States and the rest, is literally every man on the street can afford. We are coming to the street level. We are coming to national public level. So you can buy a pen. I know Philippines is selling it nearly $10. You can buy pens in Ghana for around about $2 or $3. We haven't gone designing fancy looking. We have gone, found the Coca-Cola bottle fillers, that's what they call the pieces which they like in the water bottles, and the rest is the test cell, it's a shot. They call it the test shot. And then they blow these up, hit them, blow them up, and it becomes any bottle you like. We have used those for paint pen. We can go out at about $4 or $5 into them, sorry, about $4 or $5, $3, $4. We are putting the paint pads 1 and 2. So we are selling pads in double. This is important for you. If you're putting pads into them, or you're making pad for yourself, you always made 1 pad. Make 2 pads. Always make 2 pads. Get a glass of water or a glass measure. You put 2 measure in 1 bag and 1 measure in the other, 2 to 1. That the energy transfer between 1 and 2 with your body in between creates a pain relief. So we are teaching you what we learned. When you make pads, make 2 pads. The same size, change the amount of the liquid in one in respect to the other, works by mass, you get a transfer. We're selling the pads here hopefully around about $2 or $3. We are putting the generators out hopefully in less than $100 in Africa. But we're working through the government structure that we can make every house to have, because now what we realize, there's a lot of new information we don't get a chance to share with you. What we see, people who live in apartments see the benefit much more than people who live in the housing section. If you live in the housing area, your neighbors are seeing the reduction in their bills, but you have made the unit. You get 20, 30%. The rest of the neighbors get 20, 30, 40%. Go and ask your neighbors, has your bill reduced? If it's a large number of people living in one area and have all these Maghreb units, ask your power supply company, can you read us the energy transmission at the substation? Every substation is like a house, has a meter, how much electricity goes through it. If a large number of people start using the Maghreb systems, then the power supply to the generator reduces. So when you have a 10,000 houses, a power station built to give 10,000 homes, now that you have reduced your consumption, and with the others in your area reduce the consumption by 60%, 50%, then your government, your national government, has, instead of 10,000, Now you're actually using, let's say, 30%, even let's say 50% less because of the system and your neighbors. Now the same power station gives coverage to 20 houses, 20,000 houses. If we go over 60-70%, then it means the power station can supply 30,000 houses. We are looking at this with number of governments. It has 3 advantages. Please learn what you are doing. I received an email from Togo a few days ago. There are people in Togo who are selling the Maghreb units for 200 units and say there is something wrong with the Keshe Foundation. They can't. Don't give us a bad name. You took the knowledge from us. Tell them you are proud to give the Keshe Foundation Maghreb system. It comes from the Keshe Foundation. Don't mess us up just because you want to look better. You took the knowledge. Don't break the pot. You'll find out one thing. The people who work like this, look at the life of your family and your lifestyle in a few months' time. You steal, you shall pay for it. You steal from your soul will do it there. I didn't ask you, you sell a unit. The guy says he makes so many units and he sells, and then he's making so much to give the homeless. This is why we are there. You're carrying the ethos of the foundation. I thank you for it. I respect you for it. I think the whole Keshe Foundation respects you for it. But do not go to destroy us for you to look better. What is happening in Togo? What is happening in other countries? We are aware how many tens of thousands of Maghreb units of people are buying, making and selling. They don't send a single cent to the foundation. They are buying the luxury cars and everything else, but don't forget, you were stolen. If you don't put what you took, live a good life, back into giving to the others, the way we see with this gentleman, or with other people, you'll find out, then you say, oh, I did something with Keshe Foundation, and it blah blah. Because you stole, you know what it is. We don't give you a chance to become a thief. We encourage you to do it the correct way. Make these units. Now, the Keshe Foundation website, what we run out of Italy or Arizona, there is hundreds, thousands of people are selling it. All came from this teaching. Without us as a group here in teaching, they would have never heard about it, they would have never done it, because a year ago, 2 years ago, knew nothing about it. But don't forget, there are 2 things. Put back into the society. Support the Keshe Foundation. We need a lot of support. The research in Japan is breaking the back of the Keshe Foundation resources. But it's good. If you see what I received in past 48 hours, signed by the scientists from Tokyo University, all the harsh time we are taking across the Keshe Foundation members, you say it's worth it. If I open it and read you the conclusion, you understand what we have achieved as a family. Give me 1 second, I'll read you the conclusion of the cancer report. Just 1 second. Rick, carry on with one reading testimonial till I come back.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I was just going to show, excuse me, show the Blueprint website here, where people's Blueprint Constructions, People's Creations. This is what people have done as various replications and so on. Are you back, Mr. Keshe?
Yeah, I'm just going to open my secure computer that I can read you the conclusion from this report. This report has been asked by government. It's very fundamental. I'll read it for you once you open it. Just a few minutes. Carry on, please.
Okay, I'm just going through some of the different blueprint constructions that people have submitted here. And we have a medical Maghreb unit and some food application. You can go into Miguel's Facebook through that site, through that picture. experimental version of a mobile medical system by Thomas Dubje, London, UK. Health Pen Blueprint, submitted by Shandor from Hungary. And experiences with Gans, water, and iron. Various people have a wide range of things they're submitting in terms of replications of experiments and replications of maggrav generators and so on. And this person talks about a plasma fields generator. And they have a way of using dowsing rods to test the field that's created. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to read you the conclusion. This is the Keshe Foundation Cancer Research, Tokyo University's official scientific research paper. And it's so fundamental that Tokyo University, usually to raise finances to go from second phase of testing to the animal test takes months and years to do. The university has seen such a vast discovery that the application going for animal trial and then starting will be next 7 to 14 days. You got to realize that this trial was done on the completed on the 12th, started on the 12th of December 2016, completed on 30th of December. It's only a couple of weeks. It's done in one of the leading university in Japan. It is again part of what we explained at the beginning. The conclusion is signed by 2 senior professors, who one is approved and one which is prepared. And it says, part of the report, people who are connected to this report, in consultation with nuclear scientist Mehran Tawakkoli Keshe, director of Stichting, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, director of the Keshe Foundation Ghana Limited, shareholding partnership of Keshe Foundation and Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, we are crediting the Africa. But, very interesting, conclusion is, usually when you get these reports on, it takes years to culture. This technology is so rapid and is so natural that it takes days to get results. Conclusion reads, this experiment, you have to apologize, they use some terminologies which is not tongue twisting with me, but I'll read it for you. In this experiment, we have investigated anti-cancer properties of GANS CO2 and ZNO nanoparticles. We observed that both GANSes, CO2 and ZNO nanoparticles, have distinct effect on mammalian cell viability via killing cancer cell. In bracket HEPG2, A549, A BAS-2B, close bracket. While it says, I read it, viability via killing cancer cell, brackets, what I read you, it says, while posing no effect on normal cell, rat, and in the bracket it says which organs. The marked difference in cytotoxicity between cancer cell and a normal cell suggests an exciting potential for GAN CO2 and Z nanoparticle as a novel alternative to cancer therapy. Our molecular data showed that both mRNA and protein levels of tumor suppressed GINA B53 and apoptic gen BAX were upregulated, while the antipathogenic gen GINA BCL2 was down-regulated in both GANS CO2 as ZN NPs. Treated human liver cancer cells, HVG2. both GAN CO2 and ZN particles were also found to induce activity of Kase-3 enzymes and DNA fragmentation of HBJ2 cells. Moreover, both GAN CO2 and ZN and PS induce level of oxidant ROS and LPO and reduce the antioxidant capacity of HBG2 cells. This experiment suggests that GANs and nanoparticles induced apoptosis in the cancer cell, which is mediated by ROS via P7 and BACCL, and case pathways through which most of the anti-cancer drug trigger apoptosis while possessing no toxicity to the health cell. So we know from the other results that you can use the CO2 as a cancer with no side effects, or what we call no toxicity. I can read you the first conclusion of the first trial. On the other hand, additional diluting of the GANs with amino containing water. This is one of the particles. What they decided to do, they used the amino acid on top of the GANs material. We asked them to see the effect of it. It's nothing to do with this, it's just a sideline, but the professors wanted it to be added because it's so fundamental. It says additional diluting GANs NP with amino containing water diminish nanoparticles activity. Further research on other cancer cells and normal cells must be considered to determine the universal mechanism of amino containing water. So not only we are looking at the particles, now we are looking at the amino acid. There are a lot of research in the background here which has been gathered. Now the human trials of this will start next week. And this is very, very interesting for us because this is important. This is important. I read you the toxicity report phase 1 by the university. Conclusion is very simple. It says in this experiment, the blood kinetics and tissue distribution of the toxic dose of GAN CO2 and PS were investigated following intravenous exposure in mice. Following injection, GAN CO2 nanoparticles were rapidly removed from the blood and distributed to various organs. Tissue distribution and pathological studies showed that the spleen, liver, kidney are targeted organs for GAN CO2 and PL, and there was not any short or long-term tissue damage observed in GAN CO2 and PL treated mice. So the GANs material are non-toxic. CO2 GANs material injected into body through the first clinical report. This is a very, very detailed report done with all the graphs. We have submitted this for the clinical trials, human clinical trials, and now the animal clinical trials. It's so rapid that we've been told that the committee who is for the animal clinical trial passed it immediately. They put it on a very fast track in Japan by the look of it. So usually it takes a long time, but because of the validity and what we have seen, we hope we'll inform you by the end of this month, animal trials will start rapidly. This is how effective they have found. They find it as a replacement. Let me explain to you before. We have approached people who let us know. There are groups of doctors in Canada, Japan who want to work with us. We will, please give us time in the next few days to come back. For the clinical trials on humans, our ethical committee has asked us for number of scientists, which we do not have in Ghana. We are looking, we announce it next week or maybe even this week. One of them is highly qualified pharmacological person. Please, you know who you are. If you are a pharmacologist, which means you can convert dosage to amount of the medicine has to be given to a person. They want 2 or 3 independent ones that we get consensus on the amount of the dosage, because we already have assessed it, but they see it's a good practice to have more, that we get consensus. So if you are a pharmacological person, please contact webmaster at Keshe Foundation or Spaceship Institute.org. They will check your background. This is an official government organization report ethical committee. You'll be checked by the securities because they know what's happening around us. And then we bring you in, we debrief you in what we need, and then what has been done, and you tell us the dosages you see. We already have tested, we know roughly the dosages, but it has to be correct. Interesting thing, on the top of each report, we are not doing it as Tokyo University. It's done at a Spaceship Institute Keshe Foundation, which means our institution as Keshe Foundation is releasing high-level scientific papers. We stand our own ground. It says on the top of it, toxicity of CO2 gas nanoparticles in intravenous exposed mice. This trial was initiated by the MT Keshe of the Keshe Foundation in support of further evaluation of harmlessness of the newly developed plasma technology of ganses in nanonest state of known as GANs. The material used in this trial is of the carbon oxide gas, which was produced by the researchers in the university prior to purification and injection to mice. So we are giving the foundation international base, and the governments in past few weeks have started asking us, nobody has anything, we accept your papers, because it's done independently by universities. Keshe Foundation, I thank all of you, especially the management team, especially people who sit in the support in the background. We all know we tolerated a lot of pressure in every way, but this investment in Ghana, this investment in Japan, this investment in 2 more research centers, short term is needed for the life of the foundation. We are tolerating a lot, but we'll get through it. We all came here as volunteers. Now we have to stand this till we go through, because the fruit of the research is so huge. I have made a number of moves to bring Keshe Foundation into international level. That we stand on our own, because there is nobody else who understands this technology, who can show it, who can teach it, except us. We tasted it, we built it, we used it, we enjoyed the time of seeing the cores made. Somebody said, thank you, I don't have any pain, and we saw the hardship of it. But it has to be done, it had to be done, it's done. We are nearly over the whole package. But we got the structure, the institute. We see today what was announced by Jackie. We got a beautiful webmaster team in the background, Vince, Stanley, and the others, Brennan, and the other people. We have a beautiful new management team in different aspects of education, the Keshe Foundation and the rest of it. This allows us to become internationally recognized, and this is what we came here, all of us, to get the technology to be used by everyone. We came with the ideology that knowledge can be shared, knowledge can be used, and now we see the fruit of it. The scientists, when I show them, they see this, when the ethical committee people, when the scientists from different organizations have sent this to see this report, they say it's one of the most beautiful, simplest researches with such a fast effect they have seen. We invite American FDA to contact, to come to us. You know somebody in FDA, you want to get your CO2 GANs done, we submit this to FDA immediately. They cannot refuse the research from Tokyo University. It's independent research, and the effect is there. You cannot ignore when other people are using it.
Mr. Keshe, there was a comment from Klaus Dieter. He says, Rick, please, I have something to tell about our new research project of Gans soap. Is that something you'd like to hear from him about?
Yes, please do. Don't get frightened if these people try to call you and threaten you. This has become pattern of DL. They sat a group, it's 8 of them, 9 of them, that the minute you come and show something, they find out on your thing and they come and threaten you. We have to be strong to stand this. We've seen a number of people don't come to talk because they receive threats. These are toothless dogs. If you give up in coming and showing what you do, it means they have won. We've seen it now with Court the Boss. We have to be strong enough. Please show. Why not? Bring it, show us. We are producing soap now. We started because the test, if you remember, was shown by Benjamin a year ago. Now part of the production, Ghana manufacturing, is soap for the nationals. Show us. We learn from you because we can use it. All of us can use it.
Okay, Klaus, you're in as a panelist now. Can you, there you go. I think your microphone's open now. Hi.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for sharing knowledge with us.
We started at the end of last year the production from different Gans soaps with different herbs and essential oils. And the next days you become, we send to you to Ghana some pieces to research. And with different associations, we build a safe space to research these things with different people. And we have a new, in this moment is a test homepage, and I can show you the first pictures from these soaps when you want.
Please share.
Yeah, go ahead there.
Make sure, please, before you share, make sure we don't see your webpage. It's only what you want to show.
Okay.
These animals sitting in the background, they wait to see how they can hack your computer.
We have no problems with animals. I love animals.
Yeah, but these are animals with no...
I know you will.
Okay, carry on, please.
Can you see the screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And this research project, we have installed this little homepage and give the, when all is fixed, we give this link to the community, and so we can benefit all together. We bring also the knowledge to the medical part with Dr. Klaus, and so we can bring together the knowledge, and there are many...
You put a very beautiful way to packaging it. You gave me a beautiful idea.
Yes.
How to package. Very simple but effective.
Okay.
We were looking at the plastic containers and other things. This is
only paper. This is from Sonja and Gerd from Linz, from the team from Klaus and me. It's a very good work. And
very simple way. Well, can you explain to us how you get different colors? What are the colors?
Yes, there are different herbs. All different herbs from nuts and from different flowers, from lavendulum, all different things in these soaps, and CO2 and COO.
What I will suggest to you, soap, this is the way I think I can be, it's just the way on the inside. Well, soap is something we touch. The smell is something which touches our soul because we smell it. When you make soaps, wow, you have a better factory than we have, but it's good. Can you go back up? We see how you produce your ganses. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, stop there. How have you produced these?
This is in Linz, in our home country.
Yeah, I understand. But you just hang the plates in the small jars.
Yes, this is the work from Sonja.
Okay. So what I was trying to explain, I see you say you use CO2 and CuO.
Yes.
And then you use herbs.
Different herbs.
Herbs, yes. The herbs, why we use different smells, is because it touches us. We have emotional connection to it.
Yes.
What will be interesting, and I think it'll be nice to those of you who start producing these soaps, is to add zinc oxide to it.
Okay.
You connect it with emotion.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, zinc is also a part of it. It's not clear, and CO2 also zinc, a little zinc, but we can make a higher percent.
You need a higher percentage.
Okay.
But at the same time, please remember, make sure when you make these things, make sure you develop a way that you don't touch the amino acid on the top, especially when you're making soap.
Okay.
You understand? So making sure that you can pump it, you can suck. This is what we do in the factory here. We suck it from the bottom. There is no way amino acid can enter the cycle. This is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And here
how much do you sell these?
Please.
How much do you put these in the market?
We have 3 pieces, 6 pieces, and 9 pieces of soap. I think 3 pieces with sanding and package all together, I think is nearly 30 euros. This is from the weight. 1 kilo has a special price, and so the pieces have different weights. It's a natural product, and the people can order 3, 6, or 9 pieces. But I send you the prices.
No, it's okay. It's just that we would like to know the composition, how you make it,
and
because we make it a different way. Pardon?
And normal, the foundation becomes his benefit. Is our ethic and your ethic.
Thank you very much. But the thing is, we produce. Benjamin started producing here soap with coconut.
Yes, we can also with coconut. It's different for normal people, for vegetables, for vegan people. We have different. Oh
my God, you gone really into it, huh?
Yes, from the wool,
congratulations,
or from coconut, or for different fats and aminos.
This is fantastic. There is something. How much of this is local product? How much you produce locally?
All
of it.
All.
That's
all without chemicals. All is very natural and very social.
I was talking
to. Let me interrupt just briefly. There's a comment in the live stream I think you appreciate. We're talking about earlier about cleaning up the mess. And Gans soap to clean the mess. How fitting, Fried says. So you mentioned, you talked about the mess for the first hour and a half or 2 hours, and now we talk about Gans soap cleaning up the mess. It's interesting.
What is interesting, another point I was teaching, because all the people in the Keshe Foundation Ghana, they are masters and PhD guys with us. So each one has, or a couple of them has been put in different divisions that are developing things. And there is a group, about 3 or 4 of them, who do soaps. But you have to understand, in Africa, everybody makes their own soap, more or less. A lot of people have experience in making it. And what I explained to them was very interesting, if you understand the logic behind it. We get the fat of the animal. We add caustic to it in the process. We make a soap, and then we use the soap to wash the fat from our hand. You understand the process? You understand the science? We take the copper, we put it in the caustic, we make a nanomaterial of it, we make a Gans of it. Now man has been in nano Gans production for centuries. We take the fat, the amino acid, we put in the caustic. Now we have made the field of it. We always thought the soap cleans the hand because of it, but how come the soap cleans the hand, which is a fat? You make a fatty thing, you wash your hand with it. You wash your hand from the dirt because the amino acid, what you call your fingerprint oil, is connected to the fat you rub, the separation of it. We separate dirt from our skin. A fat from our skin is the same as you have a nano-coated copper and a copper. What do you get? Gans, separation of it. But we do it so fast in the biochemical condition that we see the soap releasing the gans of the fat on the hand, and it washes away. And we say we clean our hand with the fat. So if you look at it, GANs manufacturing is what we've been, nano GANs material makers. We call ourselves soap makers. Now we understand the science. It's not a chemistry effect. Now we change the copper with fat. We put copper nano coated with copper. We get free plasma. Now you understand the truth about how we clean ourselves with a simple soap. The science behind it is not chemistry. The science behind soap is nanotechnology, GANs technology. Because we didn't know, we accepted what was said. Now we understand. I explained this to the scientists a few months ago, and they said, why don't you explain this so simple? Now we understand. This is what I said. We all have been in nano making when you cook, from especially the Chinese, high temperature nano layers comes into food, we eat, and that's why we eat very little when we eat Chinese, because half of the energy of the pan through the GANs material is digested inside. This is beautiful what you're showing us, but please start understanding the science behind it. And this has a very important application. I tell you this because as I explained to you in the Keshe Foundation Ghana, we have scientists, we have a team now which is looking for oil contamination, crude oil contamination. Crude oil is another fat. We are looking for the same structure in crude oil. We tried it, we put GANs on it, it didn't work. So now we are looking at the structure, that how we can use the crude oil itself to open up the crude oil. Alex tried this a few months ago in Nigeria with very, very little success. Here we have gone further, because now if we add 1 GANs into the crude oil, it becomes like a milkshake, very thick milkshake. Never been done, we see it, and it takes instantaneously more rest. It's like if you can spray it on the sea level when there is a oil spill, and the waves will turn it over, it becomes like a gel, increases its weight. You feel the cup suddenly becomes very heavy, like 3-4 times the weight of the just before it had the few pieces of GANs into it. And then what we ask now the chemistry labs to test for us, if we have converted the amino acid of the oil into CH bond, which means, okay, this thing gets heavy, settles to the bottom, now becomes food for the plantation, it becomes food for the animals, is the amino acid bond. So we can wash the sea from the oil. It's a specific way which is done by our people. It's a GANs we produced here especially. And then what is interesting is that now they're sending this to research lab after the mixture of these GANs with a crude oil which is floating on the water, which is like a, what do you call, it's just a shipwreck. You have an oil tanker opening up somewhere, and then we monitor. Now we can monitor this milkshake we made, what is in it, how did it become a milkshake, if it's a nutrition. So any oil seepage, leakage anywhere now, is we just add this thing to it. If it works, it will take us a few more days. The good thing with this research is it's a days, it's not months of research. And we are linking now the Keshe Foundation Ghana to the Keshe, what do you call it, to the Ghana Petroleum Organization groups. They have their own petroleum here, that if we can bring, we already have a petroleum engineer with us and a master's in petroleum, that we can link the institute, Keshe Foundation, to the Ghana oil industry, and they can see the benefit of it. What we are doing in Ghana, we are merging all the institutes together, the Keshe Foundation Ghana as a pinpoint, and they are enjoying it. They see now they can work as one organization. We spend, Benjamin, thank you very much for what you're doing here. I appreciate it beyond imagination. We spend a lot of time meeting scientists and explaining to them, and we are bringing them to work as one team. The scientists of this nation are waking up, and it's beautiful to see it. We explain to them that we are building. You will see the new building of Keshe Foundation Research Center. We should have shown it today, but we have so much things to go on. We tell all the scientists here, this Keshe Foundation new research center which we are building here belongs to you. You come and design it with us. It's your center. We finance through the factory this, that from this we can serve the rest of Africa. And the unity we see, the openness we see across the levels of research and governments with us is amazing. The nation is finding at the scientific level a pinpoint to focus, and they work together. We start working with all the research centers. They come home, they feel comfortable. Usually there's opposition with new technology. When they see we open the doors, we are there for them to learn and then bring out new things they can serve their nation. We brought a solidarity. That's why you see huge successes with foundation in Ghana and West Africa or in Africa. In Europe, the money rules. In Africa, there is no money. If we can do things with little, but we can get the research going, we can keep our scientists going, they see a movement in bringing the foundation together. I don't want to bring people from outside that influence. We are teaching 20, 50, 60, 100 scientists. The top scientists in the government are understanding what is involved. Yesterday, we took water from water, which one of the waters for us from the water research. It says, the water which is treated in a specific way with the Gans material is as good as distilled water. It's amazing. If you go somewhere, the water is contaminated, CO2 and copper oxide, even zinc oxide, the water of it, or you wash the Gans of it, is as clean as distilled water. You have water you want to use for drinking plasma, add a CO2 to it. In Ghana, we are putting a 330 ml bottles that people, when they buy food, the contamination here is very heavy. The diarrhea is prominent. Poisoning is very common. So now what we are doing in the next few weeks, you can walk anywhere in Ghana, you buy a bottle. It's the blue color of the Keshe Foundation. And you pay 6 CD, 7 CD local currency for food, 9 CD for color for food, and you always buy a drink or a water. This time you buy water, but you know this water, when you drink, the diarrhea stops. It kills the infection. And this is what is seeing it, because these people feel it. We were talking with Benjamin a few days ago. We walk into the research labs who have to pass certification on the Keshe Foundation different ways. And we meet with the senior officers, because we are from Atomic Energy Commission. Any door in the government is open for us, more or less, because we sit as an organization, government organization. And people who are supposed to certificate us, and they have to put the test when they see, when they hear and they call their other friends in atomics area, they say, okay, can we use the water for our diabetic? We say, guys, you have to pass to certify it first. You are using it before even you touch it, certifies us. We know it works. It's just the paperwork we have to do. This is the beauty. If you can teach and touch the scientists who are not arrogant like West, in Africa, in the rest of the world, you just run with it. We are puzzled. Benjamin and I would literally walk in our car with all the Ganses. I have a blood pressure. Sir, we come here for you to test our material that it can go to the next step of certification. It already works. It's just that we see it. We have to do this certification, but can we have it? Because they know, they talk to their friends and they know it works. They tell us, launch the material into the market. There's no problem with it. Now we have certificate. You go, you submit the water to be sold anywhere in your country. We send you non-toxicity. The biggest problem for certification for Food and Drug Administration is toxicity. certified Japanese university. Top university. It's not Mickey Mouse. The top university in Japan. No toxicity. Cancer. Elimination 6 hours, 24 hours, depends on the mixture. We have done, we submit to you, we give to you Ghana Atomic, Water Commission, highest, the latest machinery they have in Water Commission, have done test pictures. They photographed everything, how effectively bacteria and germs are disappearing in the disk. We were looking at the pictures. We received the report. The water and the chemical composition is better than distilled water with high alkalinity, which is surprising. Which means is as good as anything for anti-cancer. Now we have scientific backup. We back you up. It's yours. We've done it through your support. You go to the organization, get your things registered, get your things done. We support you. We deliver only directly into the organizations. We don't give it to you to submit it, because it can be abused. You can say this belongs to the Keshe Foundation, be a part of the foundation, and you can ask for a central bank. We have a central bank of certification now, we give it to you. All the pads, all the certification of the pads and their the field application that is got C certificate is in our bank. We got it. This is how we got the newspaper in Italy. They said it's a scam. We said we have certification for our goods. You're damaging the company finances. The directors, the editors immediately understood. We're not talking. They said there is a scam. They're giving these patches are a scam. Sir, we have certification, CE certification. They know the damage is done and they are very happy. The ones who set it up immediately translated it from Italian, a scam, yes, because you set it up. Now we know you're a Peter File, there is no problem. We know who you paid, one of your friends, to do the job for you. We just asked a very funny question from the Italians. We wonder how many children were sent from Antwerp to Italy for the man to write the article. Governments are opening their eyes. We have enough. The pads, you want to set a C certification, then they ask for the test lab results, we give it to them. They can see it. You want for the pens, we have done a field test, we have a certification. We give it only to the authorities, we don't give it to the people. These have come on the back of your support. We have borrowed no money from no bank. We have borrowed no money from no pharmaceutical. We haven't committed the Keshe Foundation to nowhere except to our supporters. And now this data is for you. You made this soap. I'm going to make a certificate for the soaps you make. You can have it done by FDA, done by standard boards, that this soap, this is what it does characteristically. It's beautiful to see your work. I appreciate it. It's fantastic to see this soap. If any of you have anything else, please come on, show us, and then we learn, we share, and I've learned a lot from your picture, what you showed us. We had an idea to put the soaps in the boxes, in the plastic boxes. This paper does.
Mr. Keshe, I've got a couple of other soap pictures from someone else here who in the chat. Srijan Kolik. Perhaps I can promote them and they can speak about their soaps here while we're on that topic. It might be interesting. He comments in the chat that regarding the Gans soap, I produce soaps, and of course I tried it with CO2, zinc oxide, CH4, or combinations of it. I had 2 nipples on my hand for 4 years or more, but after starting to put Gans in the soaps, they disappeared. I can show you my soaps if you want, he says. So
yes, please.
I promoted them. Let's, if you can open your microphone there, Shridan, then maybe we can hear from you. Or I can unmute you. There you go. Hello?
Hello?
Yes,
yes,
hi.
Hi. Thank you for your work and thank you for promoting me. I make soaps
Could you
regularly.
tell us who you are? Where are you from, please?
Okay. I'm Srđan College from Croatia, Zagreb.
Thank you very much.
We are teaching for more than a year, and I make soaps, regular soaps for, I don't know, also 1 year or more. I start to put guns in soaps, guns water, CO2, zinc oxide, and CH3. And like Rick said already, I had 2 nipples on my hand, and one day I was looking in my hand and see that they are disappeared.
What? Sorry, what did you mean by nipples you wrote? Do you mean like warts or something? Is that what we call warts? Or?
Probably yes. I don't know how to say it in English. I used Google Translator.
Well, right. Warts look like nipples, so probably that's what it translated into, I guess.
Yes. Probably, yeah. And that's it from my experience, because I don't have.
I like your packaging.
What?
I like your packaging.
Thank you. And yeah, we have these messages. It's on Croatian, but it's, I don't know, affirmations. Like, for instance, you can do it, you are the best, and say as you are.
Do you tell people that there's a Gans material in this? Are you educating people or just they buy it, they don't know?
Yes, the people with I communicate, yes. I told them all of my friends know what I'm doing. Some of them doing with me.
How much do you sell a block like this in Croatia?
Sorry?
How much do you sell a block like this in Croatia?
One soap is around 80 grams, and I sell it 25 kunas. It's around 3.3 euro.
This gives you a lifeline, or is this a hobby?
It's a hobby. I started to sell it online just a few months ago. Before that, it was for me, my wife, and friends and people we know.
That's perfect. If you need to, I mean, I don't know if you need certification for the soaps. I've never seen soaps being certified anywhere. We can provide you with the documents for you to be able to market it. And it is fantastic to see.
Yes,
but teach, don't give, just teach as well. That'll be nice.
Yes, with people I spoke, I teach. I tell them, and point them to some of your videos. We already started to translate some videos, so the people who don't know English language can educate themselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you for showing us. Let me explain to you. If you are Ghanaian or you speak the C language, from next week or so, we'll let you know when. Twice a week, half an hour a day, on the main television channel and the radio channel of Ghana and on internet, you can share knowledge and learn about different aspects of the foundation work and materials and how to do things. We've taken it to slots of half an hour, teaching Ghanaian nation in the local language by the scientists we train how to make things and do things, because we can't reach all the Ghana, but through radio and television we can do. As we said, we're becoming a very well organized organization in Ghana, and I hope we'll be able to go to the next step with a factory, with a new center, with a new hospital which is on the line to be built in the next few months. That if you want, you can go back. We support you to be able to teach in your own local languages. Anything else? Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Rick, do you have something else to show?
Thank you.
I saw that Shridan just sent me a couple more pictures with of the soap cans. Let me just show those perhaps, and then we can end that one.
I'm getting some good ideas, very easy to market.
Well, here's one that's kind of nice. And
it's a mustard soap.
What's the other one?
Thank you very much. Do you have anything else to share with us?
This one looks kind of like fudge. So I hope people don't. Well, maybe it's good to eat, actually. Maybe that's the way we. Isn't that the technique that mothers used to use in the old days? To if a kid swore, you know, or had bad language, they would clean out your mouth with soap, and that. And I guess that'd be the last time you would swear.
Time I heard that when I was a child.
That was the threat, eh?
Wash your mouth with soap. You put
and you think how awful that would be. And once in a while, you'd hear as a kid that some parent actually did that, and it was just so horrible. But in this case, it might actually do some good with the Gans in there. It could actually cure what ails you in that sense. But you know, soap is a little hard on the body's oils inside internally, so it's not so good to eat.
Okay, can we see?
Anyway, okay. Let's move on here. Is there anyone else who has something they wanted to contribute?
Can I ask those guys who make soap? Do you add just the liquids to the soap, the Gans liquid, or do you put the solid Gans into it?
Do you hear me?
Just a liquid.
I put just water, yes, energized water. I have a bottle around 50 milliliters, and 10 or 15 milliliters are Gans, and rest is water, and I put that water.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In Austria, we use different types and heavily Gans and water.
The way we see this is as part of the water disinfectant system. Maybe the soap is an alternative, or at least making water that passes over soap, what they call it, containing CO2 or Gans, can be used for permanent disinfectant. There is another aspects which some of you know, some of you are doing. We are looking for people who know and they are busy with it, but they don't, or they haven't been out with it. Is that despite a lot of people saying that we escaped from Italy and the rest of it, Keshe Foundation is setting up a second manufacturing line in Italy, second company for manufacturing, which is for industrial and farming. It's separate from the Keshe Foundation Italy. It's a company we set up a few months ago. Now, in the coming time, we'll go into what they call the second factory in Italy, targeting industrial and farming. We have found a very effective way. Even today, while I'm teaching, we're receiving communication from our team in Italy. I was looking at the farm with a huge number of cows, which they see using the CO2 as a way to reduce the use of antibiotic. They have tested it, they've seen the result. Now they want to apply it for a huge farm industry with thousands of cows and everything else. It shows effectiveness in reduction in antibiotic. And so what the farmers, they see, they want to reduce their use of antibiotic with their animals to minimum possible. and so the farmers have tested, and now we are going into commercial size factories, not small belts or pens, but we're talking factories which can carry something like 50 to 100,000 liters of water a day. We have the what you call it, structure to be able to do it, and we'll put these machines into what do you call it, in public domain, that if you want to use it in your country for agriculture. I was talking to the Philippines, they have made the pipes and they've seen the results in some of their tests. All this now in Keshe Foundation Ghana, Italy and the others becomes part of the structure of the system. It is very important that we get this done correctly.
I see, yes. Mr. Keshe, there's a number of comments coming through now about people making their own soap using the Ganses and so on. Seahorses mentions we are testing the CO2 soap on psoriasis. So far, very great results.
Please let me, before you go any further, when you use psoriasis, use zinc with it. Just don't use CO2, or maybe your CO2 because of its combination might have some zinc, but anything to do with a skin problem, always try to use some zinc with it, because the skin is part of your brain and it carries emotion.
Right, well that's mentioned in Boris in the next comment here. 1 cup of liquid plasma mix of CO2, COO and zinc oxide healed a lung infection of a 5-year-old girl in one night after 10 days of treating with the pharmaceuticals had no effect. It is wonderful, it says. So that's another example. And then it goes down to Raphael, who says, hello, Keshians. I made some soap too, and have some very special experiences with it. I got reports from kids with neurodermitis and other diseases, just the liquid, he says. And Maria,
what I'm going to do, Rick, while you're doing, keep an eye on your link, Zoom link. I'm going to send you for something which is important, and you will understand how effective water of the zinc is. Carry on, I'll send it to you.
Okay. And Maria mentions I put both into the soap, and Maria says that a user is very allergic to creams and soaps, but she can tolerate my Gans soap wonderful. So that's interesting as well.
I have to find it. Where are you, Rick? Where are you, Rick?
I'm still here, Mr. Keshe.
I know, but
I know.
Okay,
yeah, I have trouble finding the Zoom when I'm on Zoom, actually, myself, so I can't.
Do you want me to send it through messengers?
That could be even dicier, I'm not sure. Let me see, just through the Zoom chat itself, if you can, or just send it to me, and it should actually turn up.
I'll send you one picture at a time. I want you to show the picture. You see how it works. It's puzzling. It's been for thousands of years bothering man, this disease, this problem. Till you don't see it, you don't. It's very hard to comprehend. I send it to you. I'll send you a number of pictures. Okay, the first one has come in. I'll send you a second one. These are the foot of a man for past 5 years, and hundreds, thousands of people in Africa suffer with this. It's a horrible thing. And now I want to show you with just drinking and washing. Rick?
Okay, you want me to show this, right? The image you just sent me? All right. Hang on, people.
Share it. This is a disease in Africa. It is known as the elephant foot. Open it up. Can you open it a full picture?
Yeah, let me just select it as a share screen. I think I'll do the whole thing here.
It's caught by thousands of farmers. It's a worm. Every bubble you see is a worm, and it builds up. It's taken 5 years to get to this point. No doctors, there is no medicine for it anywhere in the world. There is nothing. They've tried everything for centuries. The latest medicine have tried it. Now I show you very simple. 4 weeks. 4 weeks and just drinking Gans water and washing the foot with a gas. We are monitoring this with this is part of the Ghana atomic people. You see something very strange. It's the same foot in 4 weeks. Put them next to each other. For the first time. Just coming through, just wait.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't come in through, it's a detail. This is elephant, or what they call it, foot. And you understand what difference, just the water. This says copper oxide, water, washing the foot 3 times for about 10 minutes at a time with it. And then you will see the whole structure. The picture is taking time to go through. Let me see if I can delete it and send it to you again. This is the beauty of a silent medicine, they call it. And you see for the first time the toes, you see the body opening up, getting rid of the worms. Just trying to get this to you. If 1 minute of changing servers. It's not easy. Okay, should be coming through to you now. Yeah, the first one has left. What is interesting is to see that the worms are literally coming out and the body has changed. For the first time you can see skin. The guy says for the first time he can literally have no pain. That's the difference.
Just coming in here, Mr. Keshe,
Yeah.
so it'll take in a minute.
Okay. Put them two together. You see this body has been solid with it. And you see how the simple copper oxide with zinc. And for the first time you can see the skin of the man under his foot. Have you received it?
Yes, it just came in here. Now let's get it set up.
This is effectiveness of less than 10 cents, 15 cents. You change a man who could not walk back to walking. And you see on the side of the pictures, if these pictures come through, we have a problem getting pictures because of the bandwidth. You see the foot is opening up and the worms are coming out. Every dot you see on the skin is a worm. This is where the difference comes. For thousands of years man had no solution. Now with few cents, you change the life of a man. Literally, these worms, you see, they're just jumping out. I've sent you another one, which has come through. This you see the skin, the body deflates. A man like this doesn't go to FDA. FDA has tried every medicine they approved, and it gets nowhere. And people at the highest level, they realize we can make the difference in the nation. And this is where we are. This is what we see. And there was nothing. It's been a solid wall. This is where what we call present plasma technology is wiping out a lot of diseases which up to now we could not find a solution for. You see the inflammation, you see the side of the foot. I've just sent you another picture from the side of the foot. You see it's literally opening up. I just sent you another picture. If you open that up, you will see it. Nothing they could do. Now the body is rejecting worms. The man says he doesn't have that much pain anymore as he had for 5 years. Amputation is not the solution. It moves up to another part. If you put the last picture I just sent you.
Still waiting for it, Mr. Keshe.
Now you see it. The skin is opening up. The worms are jumping out, because that's the picture of it. You see it from the side. It was solid. When you look at the other picture, it was totally solid for 5 years. The man says he can walk for the first time without pain. Where is FDA? We'll show you these pictures in another 4 or 6 weeks, this man, because he's part of the family of the management of the GAIA, Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. Now you understand, you can make as many telephone calls as you like to anybody. They see every day different people across Ghana, Accra, walking with changes they couldn't have when the sun wasn't there. This is where we change the condition. This disease has been thousands of years here. Now, with the water, with drinking, the man can start living a normal life.
Mr. Keshe, Doug had a comment in the Q&A about what is leprosy. Is that similar to the elephant foot disease? And would that be treated in a similar way?
Most probably. Leprosy is inside, it's internal. This is a worm which goes in, the farmers get it in the land, and then sits within the lymph, belongs to the lymph, and then they start living off it. We show you a lot of these things. We have people here who were going to amputation because of the diabetic, and now there are security officers marching as a police, as a, what do you call it, military. Doesn't cost much. You can write as much. We've seen communication, call the security and the police of Ghana to arrest the crook. Police of Ghana sits with us, watches this. This is we watching these crooks who were stealing our children into Antwerp. We see the result of the technology here. What you do as Keshe Foundation is solid. In Europe, we die silently for the medicines which we cannot work. In Africa, we can't import, but we can deliver these technologies that people with very little can use it. You can give a man's foot back, you can stop diabetic. We stop the blood pressure in 30 days to half. We have start creating mayhem in the scientific and the structure that people will like to get it into the market as fast as possible. You see, there is very little bleeding, but where it bleeds is where the worm has come out. These pictures were taken by Richard when he was here with us in Ghana. We took him to take his because he has a professional camera. It was solid black for 5 years. Now it's opening up, getting rid of. We show you many of these things. This is important for us as Keshe Foundation, that needs the change. There is many ways to do things. There is many ways that present medicine cannot find a solution. I look at the soaps now with what you've shown and what we are producing here. What about if we make the soap and what we do with the cream and put it on? It'll work faster because the water is every 10-20 minutes. This way, the whole thing comes out. Every little knot you see on this, the guy said nipple, is one worm. And the very big knobs you see is a very old worm. So now it's bleeding, it's coming out. Many of them have come out up to now. All the ditches you see on the side and there, these are the worms which have already come out. Making a difference in the life of a farmer in Africa is as important as making a difference in the life of a president in the United States with the illness. Life is precious. As he said, if we cut our skin, we all bleed red blood. You see, the skin is brown, but the blood red. Creating support, pushing the governments to implement and do more research. This is where it comes from. Not trying to stop. Those who try to stop is because of their revenge and loss of children in their beds. Those who understood and work with the technology are supporting it solidly, and even the governments have started realizing. You see the first picture we showed, you don't see anything, it's all black. Now you see the picture, all the yellow flashes, everything is literally falling off. We post you regularly with this. We'll show you the development. Anything else, or shall we call it a day? It's nearly 3.5 hours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Let me just look here, see if
You
there's...
started something beautiful 3 years ago, and now we see it.
Yes, it's amazing, the results all over the entire planet, if not off planet as well. I think we made some waves in the entire universe here. I think you've reached out to the whole universe, Mr. Keshe. So let me see what else, if there's any other questions, or maybe we should wrap it up here. Oh, there was a question from John Wells. He was asking if there was an update about the lady in Ghana with HIV who was awaiting an independent confirmation of an HIV clear test result. Thanks, he says.
Do we have Paul in Togo behind us? We are going through the process of what you call ethics committee clearance, and AIDS, HIV, malaria, cancer, and other things. And we are waiting for receipt of certification. The application forms has to be completed the right way. It's very cumbersome, but it's internal. But you can use the material for HIV. It can be done. As we announced, we are accepting people in Ghana. for the cancer. We opened it directly. The what you call we have started. If you want to come to Canada, get in touch with Klaus. We put the conditions on because we have to support this very heavy expenses on the foundation for the research with the cancer. You know the what you call you'll be treated in the hospitals, not as being claimed by Peter Files in the back hotel rooms. You'll be treated in what we call most probably atomic hospitals, which are in the control of the what do you call it, government, that we want all to see it. All the doctors are waiting for it to see the result. We have put a parameter of 5,000 to 8,000 per person donation. You can come with your documents, speak to the section which is responsible for it. We are accepting the first 50 to arrive. We are open for research. This is a trial, you have to understand. We give it a success rate of between 50 to 70%. We are learning more, and the rest is on you. You can come. HIV, AIDS, cancer, we have to volunteer in one way or another, not waiting for the others. You're worried about the life of animal and the mouse. The mouse doesn't have a cancer. We injected the cancer and we're trying to save it. You have a cancer, you want to save us. Why do we put the life of another animal in danger for you to be somewhere confirmed to be correct? This is what ethically does not go, because man never understood, respected the soul of the other beings. A mouse does not have HIV. You have. Why should we give a HIV to kill another soul for it to show it work that you have done wrong? Whatever reason wrong, or whatever you got, whatever reason this is you have, right or wrong, doesn't count to save your life. Why don't we, us who carry the problem, become the guinea pig of the problem? Or are we so coward that we don't want to do? At the end, when you have an AIDS, you got a cancer, it's the number of days you stay with the physicality. What's the difference? Putting a life of number of animals for you to be happy. There's a lot of ethics behind it.
Mr. Keshe, Seahorses mentions here in the chat that he's had his son drink the CO2 water as well as the zinc oxide water, and all ailments are gone since the administration of the USA immunizations. He had many issues. His health and his wellness became the reason why I knew I had to start learning everything deeper to start helping better.
A lot of parents have come to Keshe Foundation and tried things because of our children. A lot of people come to us to learn this because they've tried everything else. They don't see any solution. And that's what I said, put your testimonials on. You have something about AIDS, we accept. Understand you're coming here to save a life of, to save another soul, another bunch of mouse and rats which we are killing in Japan, for you to be benefited in the United States. So if you want, you can come to Ghana. We are very open. We speak to the ministries. They know we have called it health tourism. The governments are aware of it. You can come in. It'll be done here under full supervision of the doctors in what we call Atomic Commission Hospital. We have our own hospital facilities. We are building a new space hospital very close by in the next 12 months. The architects and the builders have been there to look what we can do. So yes, come. Just send what you call, I don't know what we have on a Ghana Keshe Foundation. I think we can ask Stanley to open one which is called health or help. Put help at kfghana.org. If you can have that, Stanley, in the background, write to it. Stanley, can you produce such an email?
Yes, we can work on this.
open it immediately in the background and write to help@kfghana.org and apply to us directly, because now we have our own center. We have taken over one of the biggest buildings in administration of the Ghana Atomic for the jobs we do, and you will be treated with doctors in the hospitals, not as alleged as the pedophiles claim, open working in the back of the hospitals. When the Ghana Atomic people were reading, they said, are these people so naive in Europe that they believe all these lies written about you? And we are laughing. It's a very good laugh to see the greed of the white man, they call it. Okay, we call it a day. Thank you very much for today. Please separate the first section of this. It's important that the police and the securities target on this family operation of what I call kidnapping, abusing, child abuse, pedophiles, under the name of Q Weekly Habit. A happy child runs, does not lie flat with his foot unless it's been killed. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you next week. We might have much better news, but this thing had to be sorted and we all understand who we are dealing with. Thank you very much, Rick.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you.
And so ends the 155th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute for Thursday, January 19th, 2017. And as always, thank you everybody for attending, and thank you for your questions and things to show. All right, we'll end the live stream for now, and the other streaming, mini streams, and we'll end the meeting.